Welcome to the Ultimate Ukraine YouTube channel. The Black Sea was undoubtedly the key for a very long time in the war between Ukraine and Russia. When the powerful Russian Navy blockaded the Black Sea coast, it was thought that the Black Sea connection for Ukraine was completely over. Especially the coast of Odessa was under the control of the Russian Navy. The Ukrainian army and Western allies worked hard to unlock this lock. The sinking of Admiral Moskva by Ukrainian Neptune missiles off the coast of Snake Island should be seen as Ukraine's first blow to Russia's blockade chains. However, the Russian Navy was still trying to occupy the coast of Snake Island and Odessa. With the Bayraktar TB2's surprise hunting, the Russian Navy faltered as the Russian Navy lost half a dozen more warships and boats. Later, the placement of Harpoon missiles on the Ukrainian shores drove the Russian warships away from the Ukrainian shores. Ukraine's Western allies have delivered powerful anti-ship missiles to the Ukrainian Navy to lift the Russian blockade by strengthening Ukraine's coastal defense. In the middle of last year, the US sent 2 truck-mounted Harpoon anti-ship missile systems to Ukraine. Many Harpoons followed these missiles. It should not be forgotten that the first Harpoon missiles were sent to Ukraine by Denmark. Thanks to these missile systems, Ukraine's coastal defense expanded up to 150 kilometers, and then the Western Harpoon anti-ship missiles hunted their first prey with the help of Bayraktar TB2. Harpoon anti-ship missiles hit Russia's Vasily Bek ship in the Black Sea, burying it in the cool waters of the Black Sea. But the same was said of many Russian warships. However, we can now see that these seemingly invincible ships are in a deep sleep in the depths of the Black Sea waters. No matter what happens, Russia does not want to lose its dominance in the Black Sea. The successive explosions at the Sevastopol port in Crimea have disinformed Russia's Black Sea power. Russia had to tow some warships to the port of Novorossiysk, but nowadays it is again transferring warships to Ukrainian shores. This week, the Russian Navy sent one of its largest landing craft and 3 submarines to the western Black Sea, bypassing the Ukrainian coast. The large Russian landing craft, Pyotr Morganov, sailing far off the Ukrainian coast to the western Black Sea, showed that the Russian Navy was afraid of entering the range of the Harpoon anti-ship missiles. It is known that a large landing warship left Novorossiysk, and with it, judging by satellite images, 3 more diesel-electric submarines, each carrying Caliber cruise missiles, moved with it. Russian armed warship Pyotr Morganov is the largest landing craft currently in Black Sea waters. It is unknown exactly what could be on board, but the ship is allegedly well armed and able to withstand attacks even with the use of Harpoon anti-ship cruise missiles, which were previously transferred to the Ukrainian army. However, this is probably a claim that goes no further than Russian propaganda, considering that the Ukrainian Neptune missiles easily sank the Russian Navy flagship Moskva. Pyotr Morganov will have no chance against the Harpoon. According to satellite images from the Black Sea and Russian Navy sources, at least 3 submarines of the Russian Navy's Black Sea fleet have left Novorossiysk for the Black Sea. At the moment, it is known that 3 submarines of the Varshavianka project and the Pyotr Morganov landing craft have departed from the base of the Russian Navy in Novorossiysk. According to a number of assumptions, the submarines and the landing craft could move both in the direction of the Russian Navy base in Sevastopol and in the direction of the Ukrainian coast. It was not possible to track the movement of Russian diesel-electric submarines using it. At the same time, the absence of any official statement on this issue has raised doubts on Russian Navy mobility. Russian diesel-electric submarines armed with Caliber cruise missiles acted simultaneously with Pyotr Morganov. It has been learned that half of the submarines of the Russian Navy's Black Sea fleet landed in the open waters of the Black Sea on the background of the expected missile attacks on the territory of Ukraine during the period of 12th to 15th January in Kiev. Submarines are moving south from the Crimea. According to some data, submarines can go to the shores of Ukraine to attack objects of the military and energy infrastructure of Ukraine. As the Ultimate Ukraine YouTube channel, all of our findings are created by the work and analysis of our field warfare expert team and are based on data from the US, UK, Russia and Ukraine Ministries of Defense and independent war analysis and monitoring sources. The battle for information and dominance in the Black Sea is actually multifaceted. Although the Russian Navy is currently active in the Black Sea waters with at least 16 warships and 3 submarines, NATO and Black Sea countries are watching every move of the Russian army. In particular, the NATO air policing force in Romania monitors the Black Sea 24/7. On the other hand, there has been an incredible intensity in the work of Russian electronic warfare systems in the Black Sea recently. Satellites are recording abnormally powerful work of electronic countermeasures over Black Sea waters. A particularly strong influence of Russian electronic warfare systems was noted in the southwest and east of the Black Sea. It is estimated that the EWS used by the Russian Navy is a complex that can provide strong compression at high altitudes at distances of approximately 350 kilometers. Currently, the coverage of the electronic warfare complex is very wide. At the same time, according to the data of the GPS jam service, the increase in noise here has been going on from January 1st, and today the sector of jamming is so large that it even covers the land southwest of the Black Sea. Turkey, Bulgaria and Romania are the countries that stand out in this regard. As for the eastern direction, serious noise was recorded here in the Sochi area and at a great distance from the coastline. Experts still cannot name the type of electronic warfare complex used to create strong electronic interference, which seriously disrupted the operation of the GPS system and various electronic devices. If we need to investigate the reason for this mobility a little more deeply, it seems that the NATO has a big share in it. In the coming days, we may see that the Black Sea suddenly turns into a red alert level tension. Although the Black Sea fleet was strong enough to keep the small Ukrainian navy at bay, it was never the pride of the Russian Navy. The Severomorsk-based Northern Fleet is by far the Kremlin's largest and most modern force, sending some of its own ships to aid just before the Russian invasion. But the Crimea-based fleet was expected to play a major role in holding down Ukrainian forces in the south to defend the occupied peninsula, while defending it against an unexpected amphibious attack that never came. While Russian submarines occasionally opened fire on Ukraine, the fleet could not live up to the expectations set at the beginning of the war and decided to take a defensive crouch in the harbor or on the open sea to avoid a Ukrainian attack. Since the spring, the problems of the Black Sea fleet have increased as a result of bad leadership, outdated equipment, and an arrogance that the Ukrainians are more than happy to exploit. In light of these disasters at the end, the dismissal of the fleet commander, Admiral Igor Osipov, took place. This resistance was fierce. Ukraine's self-developed Neptune anti-ship missile, which sank Moskva, and Danish-donated Harpoon missiles, which sank a Russian supply ship this spring, forced the fleet to stay in the open and out of the war for months. The Russian Black Sea fleet has been disrupted and is now used as a defensive force only with occasional cruise missile attacks. However, this is all starting to come to an end. Keeping the fleet in good standing at sea severely limits Russia's sailing options in southern Ukraine. However, they have no other choice. They know that if the Russian Navy does not withdraw, they will face the wrath of the imminent Ukrainian armed forces. If Putin maintains his Black Sea obstinacy, he may experience the loss he suffered in a few months in the land war. In one day at sea, the fear of losing $1 billion fleet completely is enough to drive him away from the Black Sea. At least right now, they are completely off the west coast of Ukraine. In other words, they have to get away from these shores completely because they know they are theirs in the mouth of the barrel. Harpoon anti-ship missiles have an undeniable effect. The Russian Navy is aware that it is under threat and that the Harpoon anti-ship missile that will fire a ship at any moment may bury them again in the darkness of the Black Sea. If Putin fails to recognize this threat, it could result in the complete loss of the Russian Navy in the Black Sea. All rights of this video and text belong to Ultimate Ukraine YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.